Your soil is your garden. If you want to improve your garden, you'll have to improve your soil. Welcome back, casual gardeners. This is part 10 of the Frequently Asked Questions series, in which we answer the question, how do I improve my soil? By the end of this video, you should know, boop, what good soil actually is, why most soil problems are biological and not chemical, some quick fixes and long-term strategies, and how to keep your soil improving year after year. But before we get too distracted, please make sure you take a moment to press the like button and subscribe to my channel, please. Good soil is a living system. Healthy soil has structure. It holds its shape, but it still drains. It contains organic matter. It's got air pockets and water holding capacity. And you're going to want to have as much living crap in there as you possibly can, even if it's gross. 1 teaspoon of soil can hold billions, with a B, billions of microbes like bacteria and fungi that are working their little microscopic hearts out to keep your garden running. Improving your soil means managing that menagerie of microorganisms as well as macroorganisms like worms and millipedes and beetles. Most garden soil is going to fall into one of 3 categories. If you have exceptional soil, you should take a moment and tell me about it in the comments because I want to know. You got clay soil. I got clay soil. It's sticky when it's wet. It gets hard when it's dry. It drains poorly, but it holds onto water and nutrients like a freaking champ. Or maybe you've got sandy soil. It drains fast. It doesn't hold on to water or nutrients at all. But it'll warm up faster in the spring than other soils. And if you're growing carrots, you're in luck. That's the soil you need. But ideally, you've got some kind of loamy soil. That's going to be crumbly and dark, and it's going to hold together well, but also drain well and retain moisture. Loamy soil is the holy grail. That is the soil we're all working towards or trying to maintain as we improve our soil. But the good news is every single type of soil can be improved the very same way, adding organic matter. If you remember one thing from this video and only one thing from this video, I want that one thing from this video to be add organic matter repeatedly forever. The best sources of organic matter for our soil, most of which are free, are compost, leaf mold, wood chips, preferably arborist wood chips, aged manure, shredded leaves, grass clippings. If you have a lawn and you mow it, those are definitely free. Don't send them to your dump. That's such a waste. We want organic matter in our soil because it will do some really important work for us. It'll improve your drainage if you've got clay. It will improve your water retention if you've got sand, also your nutrient retention. It'll feed all those little microbes and macrobes, all the life in your soil. Plus, almost magically, it buffers nutrients. It helps your soil hold onto the nutrients you add to the soil and keep them available for your plants longer. In our soil, there's a thing called mineralization that can happen. That is when the nutrient is there, but it is transformed to a form that your plant can't take up. High organic matter reduces the rate of mineralization of the nutrients in your soil and keeps them keeping on up into your plant roots and into your yummy in your tummy. There is no soil type that you cannot improve by adding more organic matter. But please don't garden exclusively in organic matter. Try growing things in compost. It works for a while and then things go horribly wrong. Now, compost can't replace soil, but it will definitely improve it. Some benefits of compost are it will add nutrients slowly. Because compost is concentrated remains of plants, it's got everything in it that plants need to be planty. And because it breaks down slowly, you're at lower risk of burning your plants. It improves soil structure by providing kind of this gluey, humusy substance as it breaks down. And that gluey, humusy substance creates a thing called a soil aggregate. And that leads to air pockets and drainage, but also nutrient retention. And it's amazing. You should do it. And it contributes to microbial life by just being straight up food. Also, microbes grow and reproduce in the compost as it's composting, and you're adding those into your soil as well. Best way to use compost is to spread 1 to 3 inches of compost onto your garden bed. Whether you work the compost into your soil or not is up to you. If you have clay, I recommend it. If you have really, really sandy soil that needs immediate help, mix that in. But if you're pretty close to your target, you might choose to just lay your compost on top of the soil and let the soil life work it in for you. It is an option. Make sure you are reapplying your compost every year for best results. If you need to, you can use bagged compost, but homemade compost is the best for a couple of reasons. Best of all, it's free. That's number one reason always. Keep your gardening cheap so that your significant other won't make you quit. But also, you know everything that goes into your home compost. You do not know everything that's gone into your bagged compost. A word of warning with compost. It gets salty, not like me and heavy traffic salty, but it's concentrated plant remains, and plants contain salt. So if you live somewhere with high soil salinity and or low rainfall, they usually go together, you're going to want to apply your compost before your high precipitation season. Here, we get most of our precipitation in the form of snow in the winter, so I would want to add my compost in the fall. The water from the melting snow will trickle through and wash those salts away and work the nutrients into the soil for me so that by spring, I'm not adding a bunch of salt. If you live somewhere with high rainfall or decent soil, add compost whenever you want. Sometimes improving our soil means not doing stuff. That's the best kind of work. Some examples of things to avoid would be excessive tillage. If you got clay soil like me, you might till your soil. You might even till it every year. But don't till it so often that you're breaking up that good soil structure. Okay? Never leave your soil bare. Bare soil is just naughty. No. There's a good reason not to. And avoid using synthetic fertilizers exclusively. So you can add synthetic fertilizers. I don't have like an ideological opposition to synthetic fertilizers, but there are some things that they cannot do that organic matter can do. So if you got to add them, do a mix. Overtilling, as I said, breaks down your soil structure. Leaving your soil bare leaves your soil exposed for erosion and also hard panning because the rain or snow hits it directly and compacts it. And only adding synthetic fertilizer it'll feed your plants, but it'll starve your soil microbes because they really don't use a lot of those inorganic nutrients, because nutrients in synthetic fertilizers are usually in an inorganic form. They need the organic substrate from the compost, for example. So that's why you want to add a mix. You want to feed your plants and the stuff that helps keep your plants alive. So you keep your soil healthy with minimal disturbance, mulch or cover crops, and steady feeding year after year. Mulch protects our soil. And if you're using an organic mulch, by which I mean it's made of organic material, not it's organically certified, it also feeds the soil. You're going to see reduced evaporation, temperature moderation, annual weed suppression, and feeding the soil as it breaks down. Good mulches are straw, wood chips, preferably arborist wood chips. I like arborist wood chips because they're a mix of the bark and the wood and the leaves, so you get your greens and your browns, and it breaks down better. You can use leaves, you can use grass clippings. Remember, if you're using grass clippings exclusively, like if you're just adding grass clippings in that moment, it's generally better to let the grass clippings dry before you mulch with them. And that will help avoid compaction. But for bonus points, you can mix your grass clippings with shredded leaves, and that will form a less compactable mulch. That's actually what I've done last fall, and you're going to see that later this spring as we get out into the garden. Plants can improve your soil just by being there and doing life stuff. We tend to think about gardening extractively. We're taking the nutrients out of the soil and concentrating them in the plants, and then eating the plants, and then pooping them out and flushing them away. But plants growing in the soil feeds the soil too. It's a circle of plant life sort of thing. So cover crops are plants that are grown for the protection and enrichment of the soil. Good examples of cover crops include some clovers, preferably annual clovers, rye, buckwheat, and field peas. A lot of these are also examples of green manures. If you hear green manure, it sounds like, poop that is green, but actually what you're talking about are plants that are traditionally tilled into the soil at the end of their service life to help enrich the soil. Using a cover crop / green manure is going to prevent the erosion, so you don't have to use a mulch. You can use a cover crop instead. It adds organic matter, always, and it helps improve your soil structure. And then also, if you're using a cover crop that you're not tilling in, it's generally better to do a thing called chop and drop. So you're going to go through and chop at the soil level and just leave the leaf material there to break down and work in. And you're going to leave the roots under the soil to do the same thing. Those roots decomposing in the soil and the leaves on the top of the soil serve as mulch, and it's beautiful. Do it. We don't expect our toddlers to be able to read The Lord of the Rings, but if we raise them right, someday they will. Soil improvement is about the same way. If you follow my advice in this video, you're going to see improvement year after year. It's not going to be instantaneously perfect, and it may not ever be perfect, because perfection is a myth. Every compost addition, every season of green manure, every root left in the ground will build your soil a little bit year after year. And if we're patient, it all adds up. Great gardens aren't made by chasing fads or buying miracle products. They're built over years of caring for our soil. Improve your soil and watering gets easier, crop yields go up, pest management becomes easier, and you'll grow healthier plants faster. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe consider joining my channel so I have more room to sit in my garden and talk to you about gardening instead of doing my crappy day job. I'd love to know, what kind of soil are you working with? Say it in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me here in my garden today, and I hope you have a wonderful time on your own. And if you're wondering why I'm talking so fast and being so silly, it's because I actually feel a little bit sick, and I'm overcompensating. Have a wonderful day.